Hi everyone, today's video is basically a chatty catch-up. I haven't done one of these for a while, so I've had a few bits and bobs going on, so I thought I would just sit and chat to you about them. I'll give you an update on how Warren's doing, because I know a few people have asked. I do have some skincare and makeup stuff I was going to talk about. I have been away for a couple of days, so I've got some clips of that and a couple of TV things that I've been watching. So hopefully you'll stick around and listen to what I'm chatting about. I have my cup of coffee here. Again, this is my Beanie's Toffee Apple coffee in my pumpkin mug. So it seems like autumn, but it's not. So I'll give you an update on Warren. You'll know that he went into remission when we got the scan in January, so that's great. And he started on 2 monthly maintenance injections of something called rituximab, which is a chemotherapy maintenance drug. He didn't have any adverse side effects from the first one. He's due another one in a couple of weeks' time, so fingers crossed that goes well as well. Physically, he's getting back to normal slowly. He's building his strength. He has been doing some work on the exercise bike that I got a few weeks ago, and he's doing a little bit on that, but not a lot at the moment. He's probably doing more than I am. But yeah, he is building his strength up, and he has managed to actually do a couple of very small decorating jobs. He is a self-employed painter and decorator, and obviously he hasn't been able to work since last June. He's been a painter and decorator for 30 years with his own business. So he has built up a regular customer base. So he's done a couple of little jobs for customers that he's had for a long time. So they understand the situation, and they understand that the jobs will probably get done slower and he might not be there every day, but they were happy to go with that. So he's done that. He has still getting very tired from it. So I don't know how much of that he's going to be doing. I think it's going to be an as and when situation, and we'll see how he gets on as he gets a little bit stronger. So physically he's doing well. Mentally, he's still having some issues. I think I've mentioned before that he was having panic attacks, and he was seeing a psychologist before Christmas, but the funding ran out for that. So, and she left and they didn't replace her. And he's still been having these panic attacks, and his mood is very up and down, which is very understandable. So he went back to his GP, and they told him to self-refer to something called talking therapies, which he has done. He had his first conversation with them yesterday on the phone, and going forward he's going to be meeting up with her hopefully on a regular basis, so he can try and get those things under control. But yeah, if I think anybody who had all of that going on would need to, talk it out with someone. So thanks to everybody who has asked how he's getting on. I don't want to keep talking about him all the time, but I will give you regular updates on how he's doing. At the moment, everything's okay. So we did go to York for a couple of days last week. I did take a few clips when I was there, not a lot. I did take some footage of the apartment that was stayed in. I will put it in here, but there was an issue, which I will tell you after you've watched the videos. I'll put a few. So there's a clip of the apartment. I've got a clip of some of the shops on the Shambles, which is the famous street in York. There's a little bit of the cathedral and another couple of things. So I'll just put them in here, and then I'll come back to you after they've finished. So this is the corridor along to the apartment. And here is the apartment. Got a little lockbox on the side where your key is put for you to pick up. So as you come in the door, the bathroom is on the right. I've already used the bathroom. I've been in the shower this morning, so it might be a little bit messy. So you've got a little sink and a mirror, little shelf with some complimentary shampoo, conditioner and body wash that was on there. There's quite a big shower. It's a rainfall shower. They don't have a little bit that you can take off the wall, but that was fine. The loo, heated towel rail, and a little shelf above the loo that you can put some bits and bobs on. Bathroom is quite small, but the apartment is quite small as well. I'll just shut the door and turn the light off. On the left as you come in the door is kind of a utility cupboard. So in here is the boiler, there's a washing machine, there's a couple of coat stands with some coat hangers on so you can hang your clothes up. There's a Henry Hoover, and there's a couple of little chairs in here and a table just in case you want to have some dinner sitting at a table. This is the studio apartment. So as you come in, there is a bed. That's obviously a pull-down bed. I did have visions of through the night, me and Warren being folded up into that, but that didn't happen. There's not a ton of space on that side of the bed. A little shelf might have been nice on this side just to put some bits and pieces on. But the bed was quite comfortable actually. It's a double bed, not huge, especially if you're two large people. On this side of the bed, again, there's no bedside table, but there is this little cabinet with a TV on. So you can't actually watch the TV from the bed, which is a bit odd, but I guess they were a little bit lacking in space. There's a mirror on that wall for you to put your makeup on if you don't want to do it in the bathroom, to see what you look like before you go out. It's got some nice big windows that do open a little bit, and they open out onto the canal. I did see some ducks and some geese on there earlier. They have got I think that's an air conditioner, and there is a little heater in case you want to plug it in, but it is quite warm in here. There's a glass coffee table, and there was a little box on the coffee table with some coffees and some teas in there, and there was a couple of bars of chocolate in the fridge as well, which I thought was a nice touch. There's a settee, so obviously you're meant to watch the TV from the settee here, which I thought was fairly comfortable. And they have the little kitchen, so it does have a cooker and a hob. It's got a toaster and a kettle, and in the cupboards above are some cooking utensils. The cutlery was up there as well, and they have the plates, bowls, glasses, little cups. There was also some mugs as well in with the free coffees that I've got in the sink and haven't washed yet. And they've got cupboards under the sink. This one is a fridge which has a little bit of tiramisu left in it from yesterday. And under there is a bin and some other bits and pieces. And on this side is a little drawer stand with a cupboard. So if you wanted to fold some clothes up, you can put them in there. There is no wardrobe in here. So if you were staying for a week, you may have some storage issues. But there is that, and there is those coat stands with hangers in that little utility cupboard. So yeah, that is the Coco Suites apartment. This is the famous Shambles in York, a little street that's got lots of shops on, Celtic design jewellery, a few little bars and restaurants up here. The shop that must not be named, which, as you would imagine, is all Harry Potter stuff. So if you're into Harry Potter, you might want to stop in here and have a look. Some interesting little shops up here. This one's all skincare, which I might have a look in later. That looks really nice. This Earl Grey tea rooms, we went in yesterday and it is really expensive. We went in there a few years ago and I'm sure it wasn't that expensive. It cost us, well, it cost me £14 for a smashed avocado on toast with a poached egg, which I was absolutely gobsmacked at. Gelato house, it does get very narrow up here. Apparently they used to be able to shake hands across from upstairs. Used to be lots of butchers on here a couple of 100 years ago apparently. Potions Cauldron shop, which I believe is quite popular. Monk Bar chocolates. And there's a little York ghost shop up here, which there was a huge queue for yesterday. I know Jane from Just Janie's channel is getting things from there before. So Jane, if you're watching, tell us why the queue. I'm very interested to know. So yeah, definitely worth a visit to the Shambles if you're coming to York.
But it's across the board.
This is a little church that has mass at 10 AM on Saturdays, and I never knew this was here. Hello.
Yes, I've got you. I've got you.
So you can pick up the sightseeing tour buses. This is the first stop here, but they drop you off on and around the city. You can get on and off all day, 24 hours. And it is right next to, the first stop is right next to the York Art Gallery. And it gives you a guided tour as you're going round, telling you the history of York, which is quite interesting. Your ticket's valid for 24 hours. And you can just see the cathedral in the background there. Yes, so the apartment itself was lovely, but there was an issue. The heated towel rail in the bathroom was fairly close to the toilet, and Warren managed to burn his leg on it as he was sitting on the loo. I mean, he's 6 foot, so, you know, the gap wasn't very big between his leg and the radiator. And he only touched it for a couple of seconds and it did burn his leg. I'll put a picture in here of the burn, so if you're a bit cockly about that kind of thing, look away. I'll only put it in for a few seconds. So he did burn his leg, and I messaged them. So we went on the Tuesday, we stayed on the Tuesday night. This was on the Wednesday at around 11 o'clock, I think, when he burned it. And we weren't leaving until the Thursday. And I did message the apartment owners and I said, look, my husband's burnt his leg on the radiator. It is really, really hot. You couldn't actually touch it with your hand. It was that hot. And I didn't think that was normal. And I couldn't find a dial or a knob or anything on it to turn it down or off. So I messaged the apartment and I said, you know, my husband's burnt his leg on this heated towel rail. Is there any way I can turn it off? And they came back and they said, no, we're really sorry. There isn't one. We can't get a plumber out until next week to have a look at it. And this was only Wednesday. And I thought that was a bit, you know, that radiator to me was too hot. If a child had touched that with the hand, that would have been much more serious. And I thought they should have gotten somebody out straight away to look at that. They still haven't got back to me on if they've had the plumber out and if anything was wrong with it. Maybe they won't get back to me and let me know. But anyway, I wasn't very happy with that. So I didn't really want to show the apartment on the video, but then I thought, well, you know, maybe if you booked it, you might want to know the pros and cons of it, or if you're looking for somewhere to stay in York, this could be the pros and cons. The people who run the apartment didn't seem that eager to get anybody out and have a look at it. They did apologise. Warren has had a few days of pain with it, but there you go. So that's why I decided to show it. The rest of York was, I mean, it's York, it's brilliant. We managed to pick a lovely couple of days. It was really sunny. So yeah, a lovely day. We've been to York a few times now. I did do another video on York, I think it was last year, and it was more of like just a chatty video where I chatted about things in York. So I will put the link to that at the end up here, if you want to go and have a look at that and see some more of York that I talked about. So yeah, that was fun. That was York. I have bought a few things, well, 3 things lately that I wanted to talk about. The first one is this Lacura HR hair repair leave-in conditioning mask for all types. It's just got a pump dispenser and it's like a cream-like consistency. You wash your hair, don't put any conditioner at all on it, and then just put a couple of pumps in your hand and rub this through your hair when it's damp. Towel dry it and then rub it through when it's still damp. And I really like this. I think this is a really nice leave-in conditioner mask, which I've been using once or twice a week. Yeah, I can highly recommend that if they still have that in your local Aldi. I think it was around $4.99. The other thing I got from Aldi, not so brilliant. This is Lacura 2% BHA toner, which exfoliates and refines. Now, I'm not sure about this. Let's take the top off, screw off. It's kind of like a bottle with a little stopper on the top, and it's like a liquid consistency. I put it on a cotton pad and then wipe it over my face. Now, I'm not sure what this is supposed to do. Exfoliates and refines. It does feel a little bit harsh, so exfoliating, but it feels a little bit oily as well, and you're not supposed to wash it off. So, and it says you can use it morning or night, but I don't think I would want to use this, then put a moisturiser on the top and then put my makeup on, because it does feel quite oily. So if anybody else has used this, let me know in the comments below what you think of it, because yeah, I'm not sure about that at all. I've only used it a couple of times and I'm not sure I'm going to use it again. The other thing I bought is, I was running out of foundation quickly, so I bought this Revolution IRL Filter Loungewear Foundation. It says breathable soft matte. oil free. Where's the front? There it is, and I got it in the F3 colour. I'm wearing it today. I quite like the colour. I think the colour is a good match for my skin, but it does feel a little bit, I think they said medium to full coverage, and I think this might be too much for my skin. It did have a one of these that is more of a lighter coverage, and I think that one might have been better, because I do feel in places that it feels a little bit cakey, but we will continue with it because I quite like the colour. But for the summer, that might not be so good because you want something lighter, and I think that cost me about £12, I want to say. Yeah, I do like Revolution stuff, but yeah, maybe a little bit cakey. I don't think you can see it so well in the camera, but I do like the colour. So those were the skincare and makeup things I bought recently. And the other things I wanted to talk about were a couple of things I've been watching on TV. So the first one is on Netflix, and it is called The Other One. And it's got Lauren, I'm not sure how you pronounce her surname, Soccer. And she was in Misfits. I don't recall seeing her in anything else. But the other one is about this family. So there's the mother, the father, and the daughter, who's about, I don't know, 27, something like that. And the father drops down dead on his birthday. This is a comedy, by the way, and there's 12 episodes. He drops down dead on his birthday, and at the funeral, they discover that he had another family that he only saw once a week. And the woman who plays his other girlfriend, not wife, just kind of lover, is Siobhan, I think she's called Siobhan Finneran, who was in Benidorm. And Lauren Soccer is the other daughter. It's really funny. It is very funny. Doesn't sound like it's going to be funny, but it is very funny. The first series was better than the second series. There's only 2 series of it, and I thought the ending of the second series was a little bit weak. And obviously they haven't made any more because it finished in 2022. But it's definitely worth a watch. They're only half-hour episodes, and they are funny. Yeah, so I highly recommend that if you're looking for something, comedy-wise to watch. It's an easy watch. The second thing I've watched on Netflix this is a fail. This was a favourite and a fail. Not that this is a favourites video, but I would say this was a favourite and a fail. So it was it was called A Confession on Netflix, and it stars, I can't remember the guy's name, Martin Freeman from The Office. And it's based on a true story. It is a murder story, so, it's not, I don't know whether I should say I enjoyed it, but I did enjoy it. And it's about the detective Stephen Fulcher and how he caught this murderer, Christopher Halliwell, who murdered at least 2 girls that they knew of. But the way that Stephen Fulcher got him to confess to these crimes was apparently against pace, which I can't remember what that stands for, but he didn't follow procedure properly. And it kind of turned out that they could only admit one of the murders in court, and it took a few years more to get the other murder admitted. And Stephen Fulcher lost his job, and it was a very interesting watch. I think there was about 6 episodes, and they probably could have done it in 3. But what I didn't like about this series was the camera work. It was the weirdest camera work I've ever seen. If you've seen this, let me know what you thought. When I started to watch the first episode, I thought, I don't know if I'll be able to watch this because I felt motion sickness. The camera was like in, it was out, it was forwards, it was right up in their faces. And when I did a little bit of research on whether anybody else had mentioned it, apparently they'd had lots of complaints about the camera work. And apparently the director thought it was a good idea because it made it more real, made it more kind of fly on the wall, which I totally disagree with. I just thought it was it was uncomfortable. I mean, the subject matter is uncomfortable anyway, but the camera work was uncomfortable to watch. It did make me... This first episode definitely made me a little bit seasick. I kind of persevered with it, and I didn't notice it as much towards the end. But yeah, that camera work just wasn't for me at all. So like I said, if you've seen it, let us know what you think in the comments below. We had the book club book, the live book review last week, I think, the date I'm filming this video, I think it was last week, and that was The Cottage by Lisa Stone, which was completely not what I expected. Enjoyed the book, but not what I expected. So if you haven't seen that review, I will link up here as well, so you can go and watch that if you fancy it. If you do fancy joining the book club, it's free to join. We choose a book every month, and then at the end of the next month, so we've chosen the book for March, which is 56 Days by Catherine Ryan Howard, and I think it's about a woman who's just started going out with this guy, and then lockdown hits, and they decide to share the house, and this guy is apparently not quite what he seemed. So I'm really looking forward to reading that, and we do a live review. Well, I do a live review and sometimes have some people on with me to talk about it at the end of March for this one. So if you want to join the book club, I'll leave posts about it in the community tab on my channel, and we also have a book club page on Facebook for it, which the link for that is also in the description box below if you want to go across and join. So if you like books, you'd like to read something, you know, different that you wouldn't normally pick up, then maybe the book club is for you. So I think I have rambled enough. I'm going to drink my coffee, and then I'm going to edit a video, and I'll see you again soon. So thanks so much for watching. Bye for now.